Okay, how many of you know the story of Samson? Maybe you haven't considered all the things that are presented within the story. Samson was the last of the judges of the ancient Israelites mentioned in the book of Judges before the institution of the monarchy. Samson had a woman from Timnah that he married, and he also had a whore from Gaza, and then the third he was actually in love with, Delilah. Delilah betrayed him, as you know. But Samson sowed seed for this. Look at the lion. He killed the lion with his bare hands, and he also beat down a bunch of army of Philistines with a jawbone of a donkey. But you see, he didn't have to kill that lion. Probably the greatest thing that, a judge, he's setting this piss poor example. He's supposed to be a judge. God gave him supernatural strength to deliver his people from the monarchy before it got institutionalized. Well, Samson wasn't very smart when it came to doing God's stuff. He had no qualms about perpetuating animal cruelty on a mass scale. 300 foxes, he set their tails on fire and sent them scurrying in a panic. Okay, this was before the spirit scan started, so Samson probably will not be getting time looped as these foxes, because it was before Christ's death and resurrection. And that's when we entered spirit scan mode.
Hey, you feel like helping me today?
No, unless you mean help you achieve orgasm after I get a nut in you. Samson's death didn't come immediate. Samson worked as a slave, pushing a millstone around for years in his blindness, because, well, Delilah betrayed him, and the armies came in and blinded Samson and took him captive. They cut off his hair and then they blinded him. And a lot of people, they look at the story and they're like, wow, Samson was great and he did all this stuff. But Samson, for being a judge, was kind of a loose cannon, and he didn't have very much self-discipline. He picked bad women. Delilah was a bad woman. And he died a violent death. They made sport of him, and that was their final act against Samson, when they made sport of him to bring him in there to the arena. But this guy could have set a better example than, this. He's committing adultery. And then, he's supposed to be a judge, all right? He's not just a lay Christian, so he's supposed to be like above reproach. He's got supernatural strength, but he doesn't have supernatural self-control. And he went through a lot of work to perpetuate this animal cruelty on these foxes, and it kicked in karmic reciprocity. And this is an example of karmic reciprocity. This is a man who was supposed to be a judge and deliverer of a nation, who ended up being taken captive by his enemies and enslaved for spite, for meanness. It was like the things he did to the animals, the mean stuff was reciprocated on him in his lifetime here. Where you could see even how a judge that God created and sent with supernatural strength is not above reproach and can mess up big time.